Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character accessory about me. So let's get into it. Kokushibo. He was a little bit worried about you throughout your pregnancy, but he never thought that you'd face any complications. In fact, he thought that everything would be quite alright, and he was quite excited to see this come to an end, to see your baby in the end of all of this. Just as you were. The two of you had names picked out, had the room done, and everything was set in plan, just for the little baby's arrival, and you were waiting rather impatiently. And although he was anxious about what was going to happen, he was more than excited. He had parenting books, which surprised you at first, and you can remember the exact interaction you had about it. Really? I mean, I didn't expect you would pick these up. Of course I would. That's our baby, Mayan. You know I'm not father material. It could be scary to them. I wouldn't know what babies want. So I'm trying to learn. He nearly teared up. I mean, he was so perfect and he was trying his best. He just wanted to be a good father to your baby. The baby that had not even been born yet. He didn't know him. Didn't know anything about him except the fact that he was yours. Both of you. And that was enough for him to give your baby all the love in the world. You already knew he was going to be a wonderful father, and that your child would love him very much in the future. So, you did cuddle that night, and many things happened after. Like the time that the two of you actually had to have a little bit of an argument. It really was a light-hearted one, but it was mostly due to how he was so overprotective over you. You could not really blame him. You knew how he was worrying, and how it was so difficult for him. But it was difficult for you too, the way you felt like you could not move around, just because of how worried he was. Kokushibo, darling, I'm okay. I'm not going to die just because of walking 2 meters or something. I know, darling, that's not the case, but I want you to rest. I don't want you overworking yourself. Well, I'm sure me getting a glass of water is not overworking. I want to feel like I'm living, moving around, doing something. I can't just sit around and do nothing all the time. And after a little bit of hesitation, he knew you were justified. So he nodded, cupping your face in his hands and kissing your cheek. All right, but promise me one thing. What is it? I want you to be careful, Mayan. And I don't want you overworking yourself or doing any chores. I'll do them. Okay then. I guess I can accept that. Thank you. Really. Don't thank me. You don't need to. He said softly, and you couldn't help but smile as you watched after him as he went away. And so it continued. The two of you trying to find a comfortable pattern and a way to continue living with the new changes that were going to be there in your life. And it just so happened that maybe things were not really meant to be. And you fell down the stairs. You were 8 months pregnant then. And Kokushibo only came home when you were passed out. He had carried you within his arms, and he was terrified, trembling as he carried you to the doctor, his hopes already getting less and less by each passing moment. Wayan, Wayan, please, stay with me. Stay with me, please. He begged, over and over. He has already experienced loss once. He's not ready to do this again. He loves you. He loves your baby. He can't lose you too. So, when the doctor comes out, and says you're alright. He's flooded with relief until the second sentence comes out of his mouth, and the doctor tells him that your baby, well, it was no baby anymore. And now he had to grieve. It was difficult, and he had no idea what to do. But he knew he had to stay strong. After all, you were hurt now, and most importantly, it was going to break your heart when you woke up and found out that your baby is no more. He had to stay strong for your sake, but as you slept, he let himself process his own emotions and cry, away from everyone, seated in your room and looking at you, remembering every moment he cradled your belly, every moment that you thought about your baby, the books that he read, the room that you had prepared that would now haunt you whenever you walked by it, the name that you chose for a baby that will no longer be born. It broke him. With every thought, he cried harder. And hours later, you woke up. He was still sitting by your bed, holding your head and cradling it. And he gave you a gentle smile, a smile meant to offer you some comfort. But seeing his tear-stained face and his reddened eyes, you could already tell what happened. And you started crying as well. Please, Kokushibo, tell me. Tell me our baby's fine. It can't be real. Nothing happened to our baby. Everything's fine, right? Please. No, Ion. No. And I'm sorry. I really am. I tried my best, but there was nothing we could do. The doctors tried all they could, but there was nothing to save. You sobbed into his arms, your heart breaking in two, and he held you, stroking your back gently, trying to stay strong for your sake, because now you didn't need someone crying along with you. You needed a shoulder to cry on. You needed someone to hold you and to make you feel whole in one way or another. And he was going to be there for you. And he would set his grief aside just so you could process yours for now. He didn't know how to go through this, but right now he knew he should cherish you more than anything else. Cherish what he has, because he can do that. There's no bringing back what was lost. And now, it's his duty to protect you and to love you and make sure he never loses anyone ever again.